All of us have experienced nightmares before, at least once. Just admit it. They scare you because you are stuck in a situation that you believe wholeheartedly is inescapable. That is what the public first felt when experiencing this painting in 1781, the height of the Enlightenment, the age of reason. The Nightmare by Henry Fuseli is that of unusual influence of that time, a time where people had moved on from believing in dark forces, and so that you yourself can experience the emotions that the public felt in 1781, I will paint the full picture for you through the background of the painting, its description, the meaning of the figures illustrated, and the relevance this painting bears upon us today. Swiss painter, draftsman, and writer on art who spent much of his life on Britain, lived from 1741 until 1825. Many of his works, such as The Nightmare, deal with supernatural subject matter. Henry Fuseli painted The Nightmare in 1781 during the height of the Enlightenment. Much of his work dealt with supernatural, as did many artists of that time who had been creating art throughout that time. This was contrary to the current trend as it became more modernized. People began finding their comfort in the form of facts, in the form of logical reasoning. This was new territory. It was an idea completely created in Fuseli's imagination. It was living within someone's mind, and that was scary to people but the human mind isn't always bright and pure. It can be dark and twisted, and he was having these people face this fact through this piece of art. A woman is stretched across a bed. She is bathed in white light that contrasts both the darkness of the depiction and the darkness of the shadows that surround the woman in this small room. She is splayed across the bed, with her arms and neck and head hanging off the bed. An ape-like figure is crouched on her chest in the forefront, and a horse with glowing eyes and flared nostrils is beginning to emerge from the background behind the black curtains. A white gown is draped upon her, hanging off the edge of the bed, almost matching her placid skin. It looks more like she fell onto the bed after a fainting spell. The scene is an unusual one for that time, an invented one, not drawn from literature or history or the Bible. It is a product of Fuseli's imagination, and it is so unique and beautiful and twisted. An ape-like figure that is sitting upon the woman's chest is described as many as an imp or an incubus, which is a type of spirit said to lie atop people in their sleep. It is also said to even sometimes have sexual intercourse with sleeping women. This painting is suggestive, though, not explicit in nature. The dream, though, would be conveyed by most as a frightening one if the incubus and the horse are symbolizing the type of dream she is experiencing. The horse's glowing eyes convey to the observer a sense of danger, and the ominous imp lying atop her chest is strange to view and mischievous in nature, so nothing good could come from being there. The painting was made during the Age of Reason, where most people had moved on from their childish beliefs in the different twisted and dark supernatural forces. They had stopped ruining people's lives with these broad accusations brought on by childish beliefs and wild generalizations. He and many other painters during that time kept these themes in their art, though, because this is important for people, as we cannot forget history. We need to face it. We need to face our fears, our biases, wrongdoings, and this painting allowed this. It forced them to face the myths they used to explain for themselves that they were not ready to face in reality, making it so relevant and important for decades to appreciate and attempt to interpret. So now that we have all been through this nightmare together, we will brush up on what we have discussed thus far. The background of the painting that possesses a lasting and elusive future left for decades to interpret, and discussing the description of the different figures outlined in this painting, one of the many different interpretations of the meaning of the pictures, and the relevance this painting bears upon us today. Today, we make assumptions and generalizations before knowing every element of the entire picture. This is dangerous because we perpetuate fallacies, and throughout history, when we learn and are forced to face the truth of our wrongdoings, we avoid it, and that is when history will repeat itself.